I'm on video saying that he was my favorite quarterback in the combine.
Kirk's like, I don't want to be here now.
Yes, I think Kirk Cousins is going to rise to the occasion.
The thing is, I don't think it was a bad pick.
How many people have gotten injured and come back and been fine? A lot. There's been a lot of guys.
Disclaimer. The takes on this podcast may not be backed by facts or statistics. In fact, most of the takes on this podcast are backed by feelings, not facts. Unfortunately, podcast equipment is free to purchase by the public. Please enjoy this podcast at your own discretion.
Yeah, okay, good morning, afternoon, and evening. It's the guy you should believe in. Dropping heat like every season. Underdog like Willie beaming. Classic like Dom singing. Blasting like bombs ringing. I guess I define winning.
Well, let's go in order here. The first surprise was Michael Penix at 8.
Yeah. Me personally, I'm on video saying that he was my favorite quarterback in the combine. I think he's a great quarterback. I think he throws the ball the best out of everyone. And the only thing that you brought up was his injuries. But there was rumors going around that when he did his medicals, there was no flags on his medicals as he would be injury prone again.
I hope he succeeds. Like, I'm not saying I don't want him to succeed. It's more so that I'm worried about it. That's my biggest worry. It's not that I'm like, because when we started the whole process, I wanted the Broncos to take Michael Penix. I even had him mocked in our first mock draft. I had him mocked to the Falcons. Remember? Before Kirk was a thing there, I had him mocked to the Falcons.
Yeah. And I said I really like that pick. And I still really like that pick. I just don't like it with Kirk Cousins there. I don't know what the staff is doing there. I have literally written down the Falcons don't know how to rebuild at all. They have no idea how to do that. They are drafting a guy for the future for when Kirk is done. So 4 years. And then they're going to be like, okay, this is the next guy. And he hasn't played for 4 years, but he's going to be great when he's 30.
I don't think so. Because
you think this is a smart pick?
Is it a smart pick? I don't know, but I don't think that they're gonna wait 4 years.
Kirk Cousins has a no trade clause in his contract. He can't get traded, so he'd get benched.
Maybe, but look.
So then now you're not using. I guess we don't know how Kirk's going to be in 4 years, but
we also don't know if he's going to even be the same guy this year. He's coming off of an Achilles tear, dude.
There we go. There you go with the flipping injuries, brother. How many people have gotten injured and come back and been fine? A lot. There's been a lot of guys.
Okay, but we're talking about we're talking about a quarterback that to begin with is not terribly mobile. He doesn't show up in big games. And now we're adding him coming off of an Achilles injury with the expectations of them being a playoff team in a shambles division.
Sorry.
You think he's going to rise to the occasion?
Kirk Cousins? Yes, I think Kirk Cousins is going to rise to the occasion. Yes, I believe in him rising to the occasion. I feel like that's a silly question. But
when has he shown up in a big game?
This is how we're going to do this. We're going to do this. We're naming stuff off the top of tops of our heads.
Go ahead.
Like, okay, now I have to go and think of times when he goes. I can't think of anybody who shows up in big games unless his name's Patrick Mahomes. All right, so it doesn't matter. There's 32 quarterbacks starting in the league. I can only name one person who showed up in a big game, and that was Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl, right? Because that's just how your brain works. That's just how it works.
Go ahead.
I misspoke. I said that they don't know how to rebuild. What I meant to say is that the Falcons don't know what win now means. Because they are supposed to be in win now mode, and you draft a quarterback for the future 3 to 4 years down the line, instead of drafting somebody who can instantly impact your team and get you into win now mode. I mean, that's the whole reason why they picked up Kirk Cousins, is because they were going into win now mode. So that was what I was trying to say. I misspoke. They do not understand the term win now. They don't understand, because they would have picked up somebody else. They would have picked up an edge rusher. I'm not going to repeat the stats that everybody else has been saying about how terrible they are with QB pressures and how they're the worst in the league in sacks. But I mean, it's true. They needed an edge rusher and they gave up. They got a quarterback for the future because to them, it they're more focused on just being an okay team who goes 8-9 every year than going to the Super Bowl. That's what it feels like because they didn't try and get a guy who could get them to the Super Bowl right here, right now with Kirk Cousins. They're thinking about the future already with Kirk Cousins there.
I don't think that they're going to be competing for a Super Bowl even with Kirk.
But that's like the mode is that they're trying to. That's why they gave him $180 million for 4 years. You don't give a guy $180 million for 4 years to just be okay. It's because you think that you have the pieces to actually get you to a Super Bowl, even though they might be unrealistic to us. Like that's what you have to go for when you sign a QB for that kind of money, especially an old QB.
I don't think it was the right pick, but I can see the logic of like
I feel terrible for Michael Penix.
I don't think he's going to sit that long. I don't think he's going to sit that long.
So they're gonna bench him, brother. They're gonna bench Kirk Cousins. Like they can't trade him away.
There's no guarantee he's going to be what he is. Like it's an insurance policy. That's what it is. It's an insurance policy.
Even if they bench him and he's ass and he only plays 1 year, they still have to pay him $180 million.
Well, they fucked up. Welcome to the Broncos world, dude.
Yeah, they
Cut
messed
him
up big
loose.
time. And
Cut him loose.
I'm gonna say it again. I feel terrible for Michael Penix. I do. He should have been on a team, and we were saying he was or maybe not you, but a lot of people were saying he was like a year of development max. Like he was a ready-made starter. He should be starting on the team next year. That's what I feel like. And if what you're saying is true, and they're gonna bench Kirk Cousins and Michael Penix is gonna take the reins, then yeah, that'll be great for him. But I mean, at least I don't feel that way. I feel like Kirk is going to play his full 4 years, and then you're going to have a 30-year-old quarterback who's not in the league, who hasn't been playing, and then it's going to be a waste of a pick because you haven't allowed this guy to thrive.
I don't know. The other option too is it could be a trade piece. Maybe there's something behind the scenes that we don't know.
They're going to trade Michael Penix.
Could be like I don't know. It's unclear what their plan is, but I think I don't whether it's the Falcons or not, I don't see Michael Penix being a backup for more than a year.
They try and get Max Crosby, trade Michael Penix to the Raiders.
No, that's
I mean, I'm just thinking of people that need a QB.
I don't think that I don't think that he's worth Max Crosby, just straight up.
Yeah, probably not Max, but maybe the guy on the other end of the field. Max talks about him a lot, and he says he's a great edge rusher, and he's the reason why Max has thrived is because they have to actually worry about the guy on the other side of the field with him. So maybe a trade like that get him. I don't know his name. I feel dumb not knowing his name, but
I don't know. It's a mystery. It's a real mystery. We'll see what happens. Kirk is still in recovery right now. I think it's surprising. Here's the thing. I could see it even just being that they let Kirk come back slowly and Michael Penix plays the first like 4 games and then they bench Michael Penix for the next 2 years and see what Kirk has to offer and then cut him loose. Or
I feel like this is when baseball went stats. When baseball wasn't about like, hey, this guy's got grit, this guy's got that. They just went purely by stats. I feel like this is what that is. They just went, okay, he's the best available. He's available. Let's take him.
It's a basketball mentality.
Yeah.
I think with Kirk, it's one of those things that, yes, he's got a no trade clause, but do you want to be in that situation? You'd probably waive it if in a year they're kind of pressuring you where they're like, we want to start this guy. If I were Kirk, I would waive my no trade clause if I had the opportunity to go somewhere where it made sense for me and I was the starter, like left field here. But what about the Lions?
I think if anything, they would try and go young with their young team. Yeah. Because Jared Goff, he's getting up there.
But they are win now.
Yeah, for sure. For sure they are.
but that's what I'm saying. So like you give it a year or something. I don't know. I'm just throwing that name, that team out there. There's plenty of others that are quarterback needy. I could see like maybe one of these younger teams hitting on a bunch of draft picks this year and they're just missing a quarterback, and then Atlanta's got this trade piece and Kirk's like, I don't want to be here now. And so I don't know. It's a mystery. I've no clue. And I guess we'll see. We'll have to just wait until
Yeah, I feel like
we
that's the
get to
consensus
preseason.
here is that nobody has any idea what the Falcons are thinking or what their thought process was.
The thing is, I don't think it was a bad pick.
No,
That's the
I don't
problem.
I don't think it was a bad pick either. I would have loved Michael Penix starting for the Falcons this year and being their guy for the next 10 years. But I hate that Kirk Cousins is there. So then Michael Penix either doesn't get the development he needs in the league, or now you're gonna have to like pay out Kirk Cousins and get him to leave, or like you have to do all this to try and get Kirk Cousins to leave.
31, he's taking his first snaps. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying is that like I would love if Michael Penix was the starter there and they didn't sign Kirk for $180 million.
I
But
mean,
they
that's the
did.
other thing too, is it could be a trade piece too. Like they might go the route of, and I'm just thinking like, because they're clearly thinking in a basketball way of thinking where it's just best player available. Like,
Yeah, which
what
I
if
feel like
they
in football is stupid.
what if Kirk's not ready to go? They play him 6 games, he's great. Kirk's ready to go. That's the guy that they want to actually play with, and then they go. Michael Penix is on the table, and then it's just open bidding season for teams to try and who can make the best offer.